So I actually haven't been using Evernote very long, but I found it to be a really, really great resource for when I see something on the web, for saving it, when I take a picture that I need to make sure that I can keep for all of my devices, for organizing all of my information. I found Evernote to be a great resource. So you'll see here I'm logged in to Evernote. I've gotten it installed. And basically you see the notebooks that I have already created. So for example, anytime I get a confirmation for something online, I can save it to Evernote and I'll always have my confirmation numbers. So here's my confirmation for a marathon that I just ran. So anytime that I have confirmations and I'm online, I clip that using my web clipper. And I give it a tag, call it registration, and I save it to my confirmations notebook. And I'll show you that in just a second. So I also have some other notebooks here for consulting, for personal stuff. This was a picture and an audio file that I saved with my nieces just to kind of try Evernote out. But I saved that in the personal folder. I have a research folder and I have a teaching folder. And so you'll see here's where when I come across stuff related to our educational technology classes, or for, in this case, a job opening, I'll save it here to the teaching folder. So here's some EdTech books that I've come across, and just some different resources that I can use for the class. So that's how you use notebooks. You can also use tags. So anytime you are saving something from Web Clipper, you can tag it so that you can search your notebooks for something. So let me just search that no limits registration. Instead of having to find it in all my different notebooks, I can just search no limits and it will find whatever I've clipped to that notebook. So let me show you now how when I'm out on the web I might find a resource and save it to Evernote. So I'm just going to go to Google, and I'm going to go ahead and search for resources related to behaviorism, and I'm going to go to the images section up here on the Google search bar, and then in the search option I'm going to say behaviorism. And I'm going to try to find images that help me to better understand behaviorism, or that I might be able to use in my key point for behaviorism. And sometimes when you search images, they take you to good resources. So in this case, this image looks like it's going to be a blog here when I pull it up. So I'm going to go ahead and visit the page. And in fact, it is a blog. It's a blog on educational technology, and it looks like it's written in relation to behaviorism. So before I clip it, I'm going to make sure it's a good resource, and I'm just going to, for the sake of this video, pretend that it is a good resource that I do want to save, and it has a cool image that I could use for later. So what I'm going to do to clip it is I'm going to come up here to this little elephant icon in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to say clip to Evernote. When I do that, you notice it puts a yellow bar around just the blog area. And so you see right here it says save article. Below that I have other options. I can save the full page, or I can just save the URL. So in this case I'm going to go ahead and save the full page, and you see the yellow bar now extends all the way around the page. I'm going to save it to, and I should have already created it, sorry. I'm going to save it to my teaching folder, but you'll have a folder created called EDTC 554. Here's where you can add tags, so I can say behaviorism. If I could spell it. And here's where I could add a comment. So you know, this is just a something as a reminder to myself of what this is. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Full Page. It tells me that it's clipping behaviorism, and that I have other related notes like it. And I'm going to close this out. Okay, so now when I go back to my Evernote software, so that's this icon down here, this elephant icon, and I go back to all notes or back to my teaching folder. I may need to sync it to get it to show up, but I'm gonna go ahead and click sync and see if there it is. My behaviorism resource just popped up in my teaching folder. The cool thing about Evernote is I also have it installed on my iPhone and my iPad. So this same software is on those two devices, and I can get to these resources when I'm on the road. And so I'm literally saving it to Evernote to access anywhere, anytime that I have internet access. So I hope that you're going to find Evernote to be a useful resource for you and really kind of organizing your thoughts, helping you to build some confidence in the concepts that you're reading about this week. And hopefully maybe you'll use it in other classes as well.